It's weird how the Taliban or whoever you want to point at over there run their fighting seasons, and it's like an official
Yeah,
announcement, like, "All right, tomorrow the fighting season begins," and then all of a sudden shit
exactly.
just pops off. That's what happened
Yeah.
when I was there in 13. We were there, and it was
Hmm.
like, this isn't too bad. We were there for like a month, and I'm like, yeah,
Everyone gets complacent and then shit
it's
pops
like
off.
tracer fire flying over the camp daily, but it's like, that's not too crazy. And then all of a sudden, like
Yeah.
the fighting season begins, and that's I've talked about it before, but that's I think the day after that is when we went on a mounted patrol to go do like biometrics or something. We were setting up a fucking
Yeah.
spot, and they tried to ambush us. They blew up and flipped over a dump truck in the middle of
Yep.
611 up by Transformer. Actually, I think it was right near
Yeah. Yeah.
Transformer. Yeah. Do you know where PB Cuba was? It was south of Cuba. I know that.
Mm-mm.
All right, but yeah, man, the fighting season out there, it's pretty wild. Yeah. So who were you with when you were in Sangin? Like, who were you guys supporting? Because Recon doesn't normally get their own battle space. I know a team from Second
Honestly,
went
I
in.
couldn't even tell you who we were supporting. I don't even remember. I know we were part of RC Southwest, but I didn't know. I don't think we're really even supporting a grunt battalion. I think we just kind of. I don't remember. I don't. I was a boot, so who knows, man? Like,
I mean, you guys might
I
have been in your
don't.
own battle space at the time because I know the guys
We might have.
came in from
I know the
Second,
next.
right, to
I
make.
know the next grunts were up by maybe like White House or something like that.
Okay,
Like,
yeah,
we know we had Georgians across the river. We were there, and then I know there were some HIMARS somewhere near us, but
they,
I don't.
they had already
I don't
built
think we were in
Alcatraz,
DS.
right?
Yeah, that was probably a year after they built Alcatraz, because the 2010 guys at First Recon built Alcatraz.
Okay, okay. Is it? No, I thought it was Second Recon guys went out there and did that. I don't know.
I don't
Either
remember
one of them.
either of them.
Either way,
Yeah.
that's a shitty spot too. Um,
Yeah.
Alcatraz, man. So
The moon dust is real at
for
Alcatraz.
real, how did your like team like layout or how you guys ran missions change from, because you said you would go on patrols and take over compounds, right, and then run patrols out of there, which
Yep.
is pretty standard. That's not
Yeah.
too uncommon.
Yeah.
Well, first off, before we get past that, do you want to talk about what that means? Like, how did you take over a compound per se and use it?
Yeah. So generally we would insert like 1 or 2 in the morning. Each team would have whatever target building they had. I don't know if I should get too much into the SOPs.
That's
but,
fine. Yeah, I don't want you to do that.
I mean, we do our tactical call outs, and they didn't come out. They didn't come out. We went in. If they did come out, we went in, told them to get out. If they didn't want to go out, then it was solved either way. And then
You're like, hey,
we
you're
would
gonna have to
pretty
get out.
much
Sorry.
would pretty much live in their house for. Well, I mean, it wasn't like living in their house. We would pretty much live in their courtyard for 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks at a time, and then be like 4 in the morning, filling up like 2,000 sandbags, making posts on each corner of the building, banging murder holes out in the walls, and
That's that shit life, but
then
it's
doing
worth it.
patrols out of it every day. Yeah.
I would much rather be doing that though than be sitting on like Leatherneck and wondering why I'm in Afghanistan.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly.
Like it's such a different living experience. Like it's the worst living conditions you could probably imagine, but it's like that's the place
But
you
you have
want to
so
be.
many of those. You have so many of those little good moments where like you're off a patrol, you're waiting, you don't have to go on post yet. Someone like shot a sheep or something, or a goat, or found a chicken, and you're making food from like what you can scavenge, and it's just like those little moments where you're like, it's like kind of homey now.
Yeah,
You got walls around
with
you
all my
still
homies,
somehow.
I got all my
Yeah,
boys with
yeah.
me. Like we're just having a good time.
Everyone's miserable and pissed off, but content.
What were the foot patrols like that you were doing out there?
I mean, they varied between probably 5 to 8 kilometers, maybe, depending on what area needed to be patrolled. Usually, well, like in Sangin, there were present patrols. After that, it was still kind of present patrols, but we'd have like a couple key buildings we would go to,
Mm-hmm.
or key individuals we would talk to. At night, it would be more of like, yeah, go check out this compound, see what's going on around here, and try and be a little bit more quiet and everything during the daytime. And after, when we were in Olive Warren interdiction, some people would talk to us. It wasn't like coin. We're handing out like halals and like
Yeah,
telling somebody to patch up a hole in his wall. It was kind of like most people were not out to see us, and it was a little more eerie. But yeah, they were pretty long, but not too bad. We're not wearing rucks and stuff, so we're pretty okay with that. Most of the firefights happened when we were like in our compound, and it was prayer time. Prayer time ends, and then they're like, "Oh, the Americans are in this house. We're gonna come at them in waves."
They got everybody all pumped up. Then they're like, "Let's go get them."
Yeah.
Did you ever see one of the weirdest things, man, in singing, even out there by the transformer too, would be you'd see some kites go up or something like that, or it's like an impending firefight, and then you'd see all the local women and kids like start leaving the compounds and like bringing their goats and shit, and you're like, "Oh fuck, like let's get air on station because something's about to happen."
So funny story. So obviously during the whole workup, the seniors always told us like, "Hey, if the people start leaving, it's about to go down." And I was on post probably like it's probably like my second week in the Sangin. I was on post in the daytime, and no one gave me the message, but the Sangin Bazaar was open for business, and allegedly, and no one told me, but when the Sangin Bazaar opens, everyone fucking goes. Like the entire
it's busy
district of Sangin goes down there. And so I was on post just watching hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cars and trucks and jingle trucks, the big ass things leaving. And I was like, "Oh my God,
what's about to happen?"
Nothing happened. I was like, "What the shit?"
Yeah, that's funny. So when you were doing your heliborne assaults, were they mostly raids, or were you coming in, taking over a compound, staying there for a couple days, and then leaving?
It would differ. Like sometimes a compound would be like a compound of interest, and that would be like the raid. Otherwise, it would be like you're taking a compound in support of one of the platoons one of the teams taking this house.
Yeah.
Because we would always do. It was mostly company inserts while I was there. So we'd have 3 platoons inserting, and we'd usually be in like a triangulated position. So they'd insert like on the south of the town. We'd insert on the north of the town. Another platoon would be on the east or whatever you say.
Yeah.
But
so what was it like, man? How old were you at this time? 19, 20?
Yeah, 19. I'm pretty sure I turned 20 in Afghanistan, but I was 19, 20.
So 19 or 20, like we've all seen the videos of like people clearing houses or people in combat and stuff like that. But now you're doing it. You're doing it with one of the most elite units in the military. What was that like for you as like a 19 or 20-year-old to like, you had to have moments where you're sitting on the helicopter riding into a raid like, man, this is fucking crazy. Like, I can't believe I'm like here doing this.
I don't know. It was, I think, anticipating it for so long. Like, for example, like me just anticipating doing something like that my entire life. It was more surreal than anything. I didn't really have like the moment of clarity or whatever you want to call it, where I was like, oh, I'm sitting here. I was usually like, I'm tired, or I'm gonna listen to music, and I was like, I wonder what it's gonna be like when we land. I never really I usually had those moments where I'm like, how did I end up here? Like, what's going on now? Like,
yeah,
I wonder what I'm gonna feel like in 2 months from now. I wonder what I'm gonna be doing 2 months from now. But I was kind of like, I don't know, I kind of went internal for a lot of that stuff.
Really?
I was just kind of like, I'm here.
Just kind of indifferent to the whole thing?
It was really surreal, yeah. I was really indifferent to it, and it was really surreal, and I just kind of like did what I needed to do. Everyone's amped up. They just want to kill people, so no one really kind of...
Just get out and do work.
Yeah.
The biggest fear, I think, for like helo assaults are taking ground fire when you're landing or something like that, or being attacked on landing. Yeah. Was that something that you ever experienced while you were out there?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, our sergeant major